I think one of our last examples in this particular section I have listed here, and it models, looks like it models some type of an acceleration or gravity type of a problem, given what some of these coefficients look like. What do you notice first? You notice there's no x's, I have t's, just chose a different variable. Most likely this was borrowed from physics and the t represents time, what happens after a certain period of time. I also noticed that my leading coefficient is not a 1, and I also noticed my leading coefficient is a negative as well. So let's see if we can pre-factor anything out to simplify this process. And I can factor out a negative 16. So negative 16 factors out. What's left? What's left is I have a t squared. When I factor out a negative 16 from this one, here's where we're going to make a mistake. What's left is a negative t. And let's just check that real quick. Negative 16 times a negative t produces a 16t, a positive one. Be careful of that. I have a 96 at the end. I want to factor out a negative 16. So my sign is going to be a negative, and then 16, factor that out. That looks like it's going to be a 6. And I do a quick check. 16 times 6 makes a 96. Negative times a negative makes a positive. That's going to be an area that might trip us on up. So flag that in your head. Flag that in your notes so you can watch out for those next time that you have to factor out a negative or a negative constant from a trinomial in order to factor it. From here, straightforward, negative 16. Variables, which in this case is a t. All my factors that make a negative 6. Negative 6 and a 1. 6 and a negative 1. 3 and a negative 2. 2 and a negative 3. Somebody might be asking, all right, I've practiced a ton. Do I have to keep listing those out? I would encourage you to list them all out for a significant period of time. And the reason for that is that we're going to start to discover that there's going to be more possibilities than just what we've seen so far, like 4 or 6 or 8 or whatever it might be. So just be aware that we're not always only going to have 4 solutions. We're not going to have many more than that. Well, it'll be 8, maybe, might be 12 at one time, but nowhere near hundreds and hundreds of them. So which one of these makes my negative t? Negative 3 and a positive 2. So there is that particular trinomial factored completely.